What Twitch?
You move to Xbox Twitch.
I am on Xbox Twitch.
Okay, I'll read that a message. Sorry guys, they're having a little bit of technical difficulties.
I don't know if it's a Twitch issue or if it's something else, so try to keep up with it as much as possible.
Well, that was going
You
on.
drivers making it in the way.
And
Oh, sorry
set
there,
a
you will.
time. E3. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's pretty tight up in the top grouping. So it looks like a low 26 is definitely what people are aiming for, but who's able to quite get that? Ichigo on another run. Heatwave on those mediums sets a 27.3.
Well, it depends on kind of what you want to do. I mean, you get 3 sets of softs in the medium set. You know, for me, I did the medium run, and then I did 2 softs, and I kept the set of softs just for the race. So, ideally, yeah, you could do 3 runs on softs, but the question is, do you want to have a used set or a new set? You know, just in case you get that late safety car. It might not matter that they're used, but, you know.
I'm sure any driver prefers a fresher set compared to a slightly used, but even still, you should have extra softs for that run through.
Yeah, we gotta...
And even with a scrubbed in medium, you should be okay, because you're only needing to use the fresh stack of medium and the fresh soft anyhow, for the most part, unless there is a safety car. So, outside of a safety car, we should be good.
Yeah. Speaking of guys coming out, looks like Bostic's kind of leading a train of guys doing the second attempt. He's on his second set of softs. He's followed by the, I believe, Alfa Romeo and the 2 Ferraris. So he's got Lewis Fan, Drix, and Ardell.
Lou's fan, I guess, was just grabbing more fuel, trying out those mediums now.
Well, didn't he set a time on his first attempt? I believe was on softs. Don't quote me on that. I assume it is because you only get 1 medium compound per with the tire allotment. Words. Let's see. Kinda.
So far, the stream has stayed up this time. I'm watching for it, but so yeah, sorry for any of the issues there, people. I don't know why Twitch is kicking us out like that, but hopefully all is well and we can get on as Mozzie's setting himself down a time. See what he can get done in this Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, Alfa Romeo last year, or last season, I might say, they won the constructors in 3 of the 4 tiers. So quite impressive for those drivers last season. I think the only exception was in Tier 3 with Mercedes winning that purple sector 2.
Not bad for Mozzie. Purple sector 2. Can he finish it off?
I don't know if that's overall session or his personal best.
Well, I'm sure since it's his first lap,
yeah.
It's personal purples, but we might see what he's got coming down over the line. 26.7, it's not bad. That's midway up the board.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can dig a little more for that, but not bad from him.
Let's go over to, where is Boss Cookie? There he is. He must have had an issue or something because he's 5 seconds off, so might be getting his. Oh, so Drix has been handed a 5-place grid penalty for hitting the back of Hecatra.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
And I believe that was coming on a pit road. Yes, it is. So Drix is on pit road. And that was Hecatra. So we'll hear what happened there, but that's unfortunate for Drix. Even if he does improve, he's going to start at best P6. So right now at the moment is
He's
Charlie.
gonna have to put down a time.
Charlie now. And the Red Bull sets pole.
Oh, Boss Cookie loses it. Saves the car, though, but that's not what he wanted. That complex second sector with the curbs just... It can just catch you out if you try to jump on them that little bit, so... Fortunately, that'll be probably his run.
If I remember, that's kind of the same area where he had his issue during Realistic on Thursday, so he's still able to continue, but on Thursday that was game, set, match for his race, unfortunately, but I caught the second half of that half spin or whatever he had just now.
Well, again, these drivers do push a lot more than the Tier 4, and they do have that bit more of a pace.
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
these guys are going to make mistakes in the fact that they are pushing the limits just that much farther, and Boss Cookie pushes the limit, and I respect that, but yeah, reliability is that too, but man is fast, so yeah. What are you going to say?
Hey, it kind of throws back Montoya when he talked about qualifying. Back in the day, they got a 410. He's like, first attempt, you just go out there, then your second attempt, you just kind of get a little bit faster. Third attempt, a little faster, and that fourth one, you just throw it in there, just pray that anything sticks. So,
I agree.
Luckily, he didn't crash out, but he'll probably. Be interesting to see what he does, because if he goes out again on a fresh set of softs, that would be his third set. As his teammate Heatwave dives into the garage as well.
I think most drivers are planning to only use one set in the race, so I think they're okay scrubbing in a few sets. But again, you never know with safety cars, so we'll have to see if these strategies might come into play with safety cars. Maybe a VSC here and there might give drivers just that chance to sneak in a fresh set of softs or something like that close to the end. Maybe even the early soft runners will do a second slap of softs on a VSC or something like that, so that they can, do a quicker medium stint, but you never know. Well, see what situation pops up.
One thing I noticed last night in our race in Tier 3, we had a safety car early, and if you're on softs and it's lap 4, you're kind of you have no choice but to stay out there. I mean, it's too early to pit for mediums. Don't want to go on hard, so it's like, well, might as well stay on softs. Now, if you've got a medium runner, you're kind of in the same box as well, because hard's just not an ideal tire to go on unless, if the safety car doesn't come out, you have to pay for damage. But early safety car, I mean, with this theoretically being a one-stop, kind of really can't really do anything unless you get damage to pit.
Mm-hmm. And Zach doing a little bit better than his teammate there, only by a few thousandths. He's got 25.93 with the Boss Cookie with a 25.96. But Boss Cookie, remember, had that slip up. We know he's got maybe a little bit more in the bag, so Zach might still need to dig deeper, but it's looking pretty tight for those top positions for that front row. So we'll see who has to snag it.
I mean, you have the top 7 right now are separated by not even, about 2.5 tenths. That's impressive.
It's a very tight grid.
Yeah. See Drix coming out. He's on a new set of softs. He's 7. His situation right now is, with his 5 grid penalty, if he qualifies in the top 10, he still has to use his qual set, even if he starts 15th or 14th. So.
And Ruben in the McLaren goes to 26.6. So again, that 26.6 area seems to be pretty populated. A lot of 26.3s, a few 26.6s, 26.5 in there from Ichigo. So again, looks like people are aiming for that low 26, mid 26 area is going to be pretty competitive for this tier tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at from 8th to about P13, it's give or take a little over 3 tenths. So, yeah, and then for the field overall, the top 13 are separated by a second, so.
I know Zach put in a lot of practice though, so there is that. I know a lot of these drivers do put in a lot of practice. Minico put in a lot of practice, so it's hard to say. Some drivers might just be rusty, less time to get it done, but it's the first race. You never know. Other drivers progress pretty strongly towards the end of the season, so nothing's quite done yet. It'll be very cool to see the progression here.
Wow.
Zach retires in pits.
Interesting enough. So I think he only did 2 runs. So I guess he feels confident enough that maybe he won't improve his time, but maybe just call it good. So I think Charlie's out on an outlap. But everyone's kind of getting situated to do their final go.
And No Limit sets himself into 11th, not bad. So that's a 26.5, again, right into that competitive range. But we'll see with everybody else doing their final runs. Danny Rick coming out of the pits now. Is Katra on a run, or are they just setting up a hot lap? I think they're on a run. No battery usage. That makes sense.
Yeah, Katra is on an outlap. I think Boss Cookie, he's beginning his final attempt now.
I know he's got a parade of cards coming in behind him, like Drix and everybody else, so it will be a whole change-up of the grid as we're coming down over the line. I'm sure a lot of these drivers will start jumping around on that time chart, so it'll be very interesting to see where everybody lands.
Yeah, I think Boss would be the first one to set a time. He's a 10th batter so far through Sector 1 as Ruben's retired in the pit lane. I missed Charlie's time. Everyone's excited.
25.8 is what is needed to beat for pole currently by TTM Charlie, so will Boss Cookie have it, and will anybody else behind Boss Cookie have it? Yellow flags, I'm guessing that's somebody getting out of the way for other drivers on their hot lap.
Cookie's only improved by a 10th so far, so he needs to find just a little bit. If Charlie doesn't improve to get pole, gonna be close. It's
Coming down over the line, what does Boss Cookie have? That is pole for now, a 25.839. Just that little bit behind.
Let's see what Charlie does. Oh,
he goes a little bit faster. That's a 25.772. So good on Charlie taking pole away from Boss Cookie after it was just promptly taken from him.
excited.
Port is done.
He's actually invalidated, so he'll be done. Here's Wraith. About even so far on his final run. As he goes through Sector 2. Let's see what it is. 0.129 faster.
Yeah, but that could move him up quite a bit.
Drix.
That could still push him up to like a P5.
Drix got
Drix
pole.
goes that faster. Pole, but has that penalty to still work with, so it still will go to Charlie in the end.
Wraith improves the P5.
Wrath will push himself up. What does Danny Rick have? And Danny Rick bows out of it. He wants to keep his first set. That's fine. So he's going to say P12.
Yep, so I believe we're all good and done. Yes, well, that's Ethan. Let's see if Ethan's... No, he's not. He's pitting. So that will wrap up qualifying. So Trix will get pulled, but fortunately he'll start P6, which means Charlie, Boss, and Nico right, and Heatwave will all be promoted in one spot.
Very, very interesting. Zach got pushed down quite a bit. Would it have been worth it to try and get out for another run?
Only Zach knows at the end of the day. I mean, if he felt like there was not more pace he could find, then probably not. But, I mean, yeah, that's something we'll have to ask Zach later on. we've seen.
Yeah, because it seems like a lot of drivers were able to improve on that final run. I'm guessing the track was just that much better. So I'm hoping other drivers take note of that and try to stick it out to the end. Drix with his 5-place grid penalty will push him back, so TTM Charlie will have pole position. And fastest lap was a 25.673 by Drix.
P10 and P11 are tied. Or no. Yeah. They're tied.
They are.
But if
Katra and Ardell have a nose-to-nose time.
well, if
I guess Ardell posted it earlier than Katra, and that's the difference.
If this game does what I believe is still real life in Formula One, if there is an equal time, it's whoever sets it first will have the place. We all remember that infamous F97 race of Schumacher and Villeneuve, but that race saw Villeneuve, Schumacher, and Frentzen all set the same time, but Villeneuve set it first, so he got to keep the spot. So
Crazy coincidences that can happen in F1. So
it's just weird in general racing when you see someone just have the same exact time. I haven't had an F1, but I've had it in a NASCAR league before, which we had to create a new rule because pole sitter gets points, and we're like, hey, what do we do here now? Do we both get points?
Makes sense. Seems like a lot of the drivers in the back from 11th back are looking at that medium start, except for Crusade Ethab, but everybody else looking at that medium start. So we do have a bit of a mixed up group tonight. We'll have to see how strategy plays out. Perhaps with safety car, it will make the medium runners have the better run. You never know. Maybe it'll pay out for the soft runners. We'll have to see.
Well, we didn't really get a proper race start, because we had our safety car, and neither did Tier 3, but, these softs, they tend to start to die around lap 7 to lap 8. Like, they gradually get a little bit worse and worse and worse, but then it's like at that point, they just start to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, but I'm sure a lot of drivers will still stick it out to about 10, just so that their mediums can make it that distance, because the mediums will have to stretch 19 or so laps, so I'm sure some are going to try and stretch as far as they can on their softs so that they can give their second stint a little bit more comfort, as it were, for the longer stint.
One of the Haas drivers is off the pace. What is up with that? Maybe Danny Rick was resetting his wheel, which is unfortunately a thing. You got a TMX wheel and you're twitching, or if you're in a party, for some reason this game just does not like TMX.
Yeah, it could have been one of those glitches. It could have been just some issues with the wheel, maybe just getting off the line. Cold tires, you never know. So, we shall see.
I noticed last night, whenever there was, we had an alert message. It was under, I think when we went from PSC to safety car, that caused my wheel to lose force feedback for some reason. So it's just weird with some of the glitches that we had in this game. Well,
we're getting close to the end, as many of the drivers are getting to the end of Sector 2, and now into Sector 3, as we're finishing up our formation lap before we start this race. Round 1, Bahrain of Tier 2. So let us see what happens here.
Yeah, unfortunately with Trix, he would have been on pole, but had something happened with his qualifying to get his penalty, which is unfortunate, but qualifying is over. Now we just focus for the race.
And here we go.
Waiting on Danny Rick to get his spot. I think after that we'll be good.
Here we go, 5 red lights. And away we go. Looks like Wrath gets a good start off the line. And it looks like Charlie's already trying to make defensive moves. Boss Cookie trying to push down that inside.
So far so good, so everyone's kind of just keeping it clean.
Miniko squeezes himself into P3. Looks like everyone's trying to jostle for positions. We got a battle between Drix and Heatwave as they're going side by side through the corner. Drix trying to make up a position already. Trying to make up for that issue in quali that he had. Doesn't look like too many positions were moved on that time around. Few in the back, but not too many up front. As Ruben and No Limit are trading between their teammates. Side by side, who's going to give way? Oh, he goes deep and hits Ardell.
Yeah.
That's not going to be great. We have another driver off there. That's Port. So, not great going in the back. I don't know what happened there unless Port had contact. I think that's each go along his inside there, Ruben.
Yeah, and Ruben's got damage, unfortunately, so... And we've seen in this game, just the slightest wing damage just means so much. You lose a lot of... Ooh. Drunken Shamrock and Ruben almost got together again. Be interesting to see if Ruben pucks us out or if he pits, but... I mean, you've experienced before. Just 8% wing damage just a huge unbalance of the car. And he does
either have to fight through it or just get used to it. But yeah, without the hope of a safety car, it's hard to say. Boss Cookie with a slight lock up there, but keeping his distance from Charlie. But Miniko following in close. Wrath closing in on Miniko from behind, but everybody staying in close. Crusade Ethab losing a position to Lewis Fan as Ethan is fighting back there. What do we have back here? Lewis diving down the inside. He is trying to take it. Ethan's going down the wide outside, trying to get a better run, and he does get it that time around, so that's good.
Ethan's at 5
Charlie's
spots.
Charlie's still chasing down Boss Cookie, so... It is a whole train there going through that corner. Everyone just trying to keep up pace before DRS.
Yeah, we got the top to 11 there. They're all basically in a DRS train, so... Just kind of want to stay in this train as though I think that's Ruben's. He is spun, I believe, as well. That's the yellow flag.
Heatwave looking for a move on Drix. Can he get it done? Does he want it done with DRS coming up? I'm not so sure. He's going to dive down that inside. They make room for each other. Oh, light tap of the tires, but they're still going 2 by 2. Side by side as they go down the straight.
Zach might take it 3 wide. He thinks better of it. Now they have DRS.
Heatwave does get the move done, but now everyone does have that straight line speed. He's going to have to defend a little bit more. But he does have the position for now. Looks like Ardell's moved up a bit. Same with Katra, as Katra makes a move past 2 into the corner there.
Yeah.
Side by side with Ardell is medium runner fighting with the soft runner there.
Yeah, Ardell took, I believe it was a late dive, as Katra takes a now under fire from Danny Rick.
And Danny Rick gets the position against Katra there, so she's losing out tons of positions right now. But again, they're all fighting it out in the back. She has to lock up a little bit, trying to avoid the back of Danny Rick. But, yeah.
Ardell kind of, he needs to push as much as he can on these softs, with Danny Rick and Katra behind him on the mediums. They're not going to have their tires drop off as fast as Ardell does, so Ardell needs to close up on that gap before he gets swallowed up.
Drix RL doesn't have the DRS, so I don't know if he's going to be under threat from Zach here coming down the straight. Still has Veyron in behind.
Yeah, they're both.
Zach makes the move done early.
Yeah, Drix was on the button, but really couldn't do anything with the DRS there, but now Zach won't have DRS now, so we'll see if Drix can be able to respond.
Battle up front between Boss Cookie and Charlie.
I think that's on the side of that's off. It is. Yep. Now Zach's going to try to close that gap. The heat wave to get DRS. He might get it. It's going to be close. I don't think he got it.
Gets a 5-second for speeding in pit lane, unfortunately, so that's just insult to injury for him.
He decided to retire, so that's unfortunate to have this race end on lap 4. Didn't see what was the reasoning, so Zach goes purple sector 2. He's on the button trying to close that gap. He's left tricks in the dust.
But the top group isn't making too many more moves as they're all kind of stuck in their own little train. So Zach's just going to close up, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make any moves just like anybody else in this group.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like a move from Boss Cookie, but he thinks better of it. Gets tucked back away.
Yeah, they could just be, biding their time. Kind of have to make these tires last just a little bit to get to the window of the one stop. One thing that could cause an issue, though, with not necessarily Charlie, but his teammate Heatwave, and then you got Boss Cookie P2 and his teammate Zach. They can't hit at the same time, so you would think Boss and Charlie's gonna have priority of what lap they want to hit.
And it is a fight for P10 right now. Danny Rick is just trying to fight away from Katra, but trying to keep up with Ardell on that soft tire.
Yeah, let's see if Ardell can still maintain, or this is kind of the part where the medium runners start to be even with the soft runners and perhaps start to propel a bit.
Might be a little early, but then that means these medium runners are doing pretty good on pace, if so, but I'm not quite sure. Not too much movement from the top group. They're all kind of keeping a 5-10 difference as they all go down the straight, so
yeah, Ardell,
I think we have better odds of an overtake down here.
Danny Rick's on the button, I believe. He has more.
He looks left, looks right. And he pushes Ardell to the outside, and Danny Rick takes the inside of Ardell. Ardell pushing back on the outside. They give each other enough room.
This is give Katra a good look on the inside for Danny Rick.
Katra taking that inside line. Will she have it? They give each other room still. But can't quite muscle ahead out of the corner. Danny Rick holds his position for now. But it does look like the top group is getting a little bit closer. Perhaps some of these guys are looking to make that move soon.
Yeah, Ardell's kind of... He's holding these medium guys up. So they would like to clear him as soon as they could, and he doesn't have a lot of battery.
Oh, we have somebody off. Is that Heatwave? Heatwave's off. Was that contact, perhaps, of trying to overtake out of the DRS zone? Trying to stay out of the way of everybody else. That's going to get in the way of Katra.
I don't see any wing damage, so where he kind of spun, it could have been contact or that long swooping left-hander. The back end of the car sometimes wants to step out. I mean, that's not where I spun. I spun on the corner after that. But sometimes the rear end of the car will just sail away on you. So unknown what happened there.
Bit unknown. We'll have to see what happens from that later. They're all chasing each other down the top group. Still a tight fight from Charlie, Boss Cookie, and Minico. There's not even a second between the three of them. And Wrath coming in for fourth, so he's not letting this group go either. Zach holding on to the back of Wrath. Veyron falling off just a little bit. Maybe that was just from Heatwave having his spin. Maybe that was from contact. I'm going to hope it was just from avoiding the other driver, and that's what slowed him up a bit. So
that's what that could
see him hopefully catch up to the top group.
One thing I noticed up front, the battery between the front two are somewhat similar. They're in the 30s to the 40s, but Maniko and Wraith, they're at 80 to 70%, as Zach trying to get the move done on Wraith.
Will Zach be able to do it? Danny Rick did get the move done on Ardell, but I'm not sure he'll be able to defend that coming through the DRS sector
Well, one thing that might
in
help
Sector
him,
1.
he has more battery than Ardell, so he does have that to his advantage. One thing I
I
noticed,
don't think Zach can make a move.
Bay,
Anything happening back here? No, quite.
Bay runs the first to pit, he goes to hard, so I guess he feels like he can't make mediums last for one stop, so he'll throw on hards. And also, Heatwave also pits as well. I believe he went to mediums. Yeah, he went to mediums, so.
Battle for the lead again. Boss Cookie nudges himself ahead as they muscled their way through Sector 1 and into Sector 2. So yeah, it's an interesting fight. Mini Coach is kind of biding his time in third, but these two have traded positions a few times for that first position to grab DRS.
Yeah, I think Nico is just sitting there buying his time as Danny Rick becomes the second driver. You get a 3-second penalty in P6. Don't want to get many of those. That can really hurt your result at the end.
Nico's right on the back of Charlie. I don't know if anybody's going to be pitting this lap. Is this the time, or are these guys going to keep going until the next one blinks? But everyone looking a little antsy to get a move done at this point, so we'll have to see.
I think let's take a look to see what Heatwave is doing. I will say this, if these guys that stay out, if Heatwave sets the fastest lap, then you kind of have your gauge of, okay, you might want to consider pitting soon because of the undercut. Not that, you know, Heatwave's going to threaten the top guys with his issue, but it's something to take note.
And the back group of our soft runners have decided to pit because they weren't with the top group, so makes sense for them to try out getting on those mediums earlier, try to get the undercut or get into traffic and see what they can do. Still a big fight for this top group, though. Strix gets past his teammate Ardell out of the pits. But so far, that looks like that's it for the pits so far. I don't know if these guys will be going there this lap around.
Well, unfortunately for one of the AlphaTauris, one of them is going to have to go 10 laps, and I think that might be, unfortunately, be Zach if they all pit at lap 9. They come around long last straight before the final 2 corners. Let's see who blinks.
Charlie has a bit of a lockup, trying not to hit the back of Boss Cookie. Is Boss Cookie going to go for it? He is. Same with Minikos, same with Charlie. It's a lockups, but everyone's safe into the pits as Zach also follows them into the pits. Wrath goes on.
Yeah,
Oh no, Zach went out as well. Sorry, camera threw me off there.
Kind of had no choice there. I mean, theoretically, he probably would have loved to pit, but being the fact that, you know, Boss Cookie was actually leading with the double stack, he's going to lose more time by just pitting there. I mean, just got to tough it out one more lap. One thing he needs to do is just be kind of patient here.
Those tires do look pretty used. Same with Wrath. They're both tired. Oh, we have a driver off, though. That's no limit.
That is no limit. No, that's Ruben, actually.
Oh. Ruben, then. My bad. Not been the race he's wanted so far. Wrath pushing with ERS. Zach's got DRS on him.
So
He's going to go for a move for the lead here. Not quite. Was looking for it, though.
So Boss, Charlie, and Nico all left pit lane, and they all came out in clean air. You know, there's 6 seconds of jip from Mozzie as, well, hold up here. Ruben, I don't think that's a safety car.
That is a safety car, so that's going to pay out great for Zach if he can get this pit stop in. Same with Wrath.
Yes.
So will this be the difference that they needed to get this done? Is this going to just give them the lead that they want? with a slightly fresher set of tires to go to the end.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Danny Rick's coming in behind. Is he going to come for a fresh stack? I'm guessing so.
Let's see.
Same with Katra. Same with Ichigo.
It'll be interesting to see what these medium guys do. They might do hards and then come back a lap later and pit for mediums. Because
Boss Cookie's running. Can he get out first?
so
He beats out his teammate. He wants Zach ahead of him. Oh, so Team Boss Cookie lets Zach ahead to stay. I think he wants to keep Charlie behind. Maybe they're looking at a constructors thing so far, early as it is, but yeah. Careful, guys, with the checking up. I understand the safety car is slow, but
Yeah.
be mindful.
well, one thing too, this happened last night for me, and it wasn't Wavy's fault, but like you have a delta that you have to kind of look after, and I was in the red, so I was slowing down, and you have to pay attention. 1 second of you perhaps trying to look at a message or whatever, Wavy slammed in the back of me, and unfortunately I didn't ruin his race, and I don't think we got a penalty out of it, but don't want to do that.
Yeah, unfortunately it does happen. People don't notice other people checking up. There is no brake lights on the back of here, so you have to be mindful, especially under safety car. So
What I'm interested to see with Danny Rick, Katra, Ichigo, I believe Lewis also started on mediums, the same with Drunken and Mozzie. Do these guys come in and pit and throw mediums back on to meet the requirement of you have to run 2 different compounds? Because softs won't make it for sure, but we know mediums will.
even a scrub set of mediums under safety car should make it to the end, especially if you're knowing how to nurse them. Especially in Tier 2, a lot of these guys can take care of their tires fairly well, so I'm sure that's not quite the issue for them.
One thing I noticed, this brings no limit back into the race, but missed what happened at Ardell at P16, if he had an issue or not. So, alright, let's see what these guys from 6th, 7th, and 8th do.
Well, I think Ardell made another pit, but I don't know if he got caught up because his teammate was also pitting, so that might have been a thing. We do have someone else, yeah, Drunken Shamrock into the pits. Same with Mozzie. So yeah, you're right. They're looking at getting off of those mediums, or the hards, back onto the mediums. I see some yellow walled tires out there for them, ready to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't had, we had Ruben get, or was it Unside to get the 5-second for speeding in the pit lane, but we've not had any other 5-second penalties, so no one had to come in there and pit to clear that out. So far, it's just really the one penalty of Danny Rick, who has 3 seconds. Everyone else is either good or maybe just on warnings, so. And we might be going in this lap.
Safety car might be in. I wonder if this back group can't. Well, they'll probably get caught up by that time, so all good for them. Not a whole lot. Everyone's done their mandatory stop. Quite a few position changes by this point through. We'll have to see how that impacts the race going forward.
Be interesting to see how the hards fire off compared to the mediums. If Danny Rick would be able to stay with Maniko.
I did practice laps on the hards. I wouldn't want to be out on them. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's not enough grip for them.
I will be honest, throughout the whole last week, I did not touch the hards once.
I always touch the hards. It's like baseball. You know how the batter goes out and he swings 3 bats and then he swings 1 when he's at the pitch? Yeah. It's kind of like the same idea. Drive with less grip. Then when you get on your soft yellows or reds, you're like, okay, here's some real grip. Here we go.
I will say for Imola next week, I will actually use the hards because I saw where actually that tire wasn't a bad tire for Imola. So that now we'll practice for rain because here we're in a desert. We don't expect rain. Imola, we could see rain.
We could see rain there. And especially with as many tiers as we have, even in realistic, we could see it as they're going now. Oh. It looks like Boss Cookie gets a good run.
Get the two Alphatars side by side. That was
It is a
Bosco
scrum for that
spins.
first corner. Oh,
Wow. We had
big accident. Horrible. Oh my God. Multiple drivers out. Danny, Rick, TTM, Heatwave, Katra are all out, and multiple wing damages to other drivers as Zach the Beast has no front wing. Oh my.
We will see if that would cause a safety car where they're at. One would assume it will.
I don't know.
We've not had
so
the
far
message
not.
yet. It's just yellow.
If that's not a safety car, I don't know what is. That is, yeah, Boss Cookie. I don't know if he's gonna have floor damage or something after that, but I hope not. And it doesn't look like he's got wing damage, but that's taking him quite out of the running. Zach's gonna need to pit again. This is not gonna be his race.
Yeah.
Drix does not have any wing damage, but he's way out there, so I'm not quite sure what's going on.
I don't know what happened, but you had the two Alphataris side by side, then you had the Red Bull in tow, and I think off of that turn, Cookie lost traction or something and just ran in front of the field, and no one, Katra, Danny, Rick, they just had nowhere to go. So, and that, there was one car that actually went in the air a bit, so interesting enough that even caused a safety car, but Wraith and Charlie, they're gone. They say
They're gone. They're trying to get out of there. Ichigo, though, trying to close in that gap, so we'll have to see how these guys are going to do.
Nico, unfortunately, pits as well. I guess he
probably had wing damage or something like that as well.
They're changing their front wing. Kind of really changes this race.
A lot of the leaders just got taken out with that big accident, so now we shall see what happens. Ichigo up into podium positions. It's 11 positions up for him. Lewis Fan up 12. Same with Ethan and same with Shamrock. So those medium runners that were in the back kind of lucked out with that, being able to avoid it. So this is a totally different race. It is anybody's chance. It looks like it's down to TTM Charlie and Wrath for the lead, but for P3, it's anybody's race.
Well, how crazy that was. Before the restart, Ardell was, what, 16th? Now he's 6th. I mean, safety with no limit. No limit's now at 9th in the points, so just like that, when you think, you know, for No Limit, who did not have a good open first stint, you never know what's going to happen in the race itself. Something can transpire and just flip your night completely. So
DRS is enabled this lap, so we'll have to see.
Wraith has a little bit more battery, about 30% more, 20% more than Charlie. Then you got DXD and Veyron. Let's see if DXD could be able to hold off Veyron on his hards. They're on the same tire life, I believe. As Ardell gets by, their Lewis fan are fighting.
Oh, they're fighting through the corners. Ardell kind of closes them off, but good to do so to tell the driver behind, hey,
Fine.
Smarten up. This is mine. So I understand. But yeah, he takes that position from Lewis and closes the door on him to say, go away. Ethan now on the back of Lewis, so we'll have to see how that hard runner will be able to do. Ichigo also on the hards to the end. I'm not sure his tires are going to have the pace, but right now, yeah, Veyron trying to take that inside, but not super sure to take it here. I'm guessing he's going to wait for DRS and make a sure thing of it. It's not a bad plan, but
he made it work on
Ichigo,
the outside.
Yeah, Ichigo might be a little bit strapped due to the tire situation that he is in.
Yeah, he might be sitting back here now.
I'm sure he's giving it everything with battery. He goes to the right. Veyron to the left. They're side by side going into the corner.
Yeah.
Giving enough room, but Veyron will sneak himself ahead of Ichigo there as Wrath and Charlie are fighting out for the lead from turn 4.
And DXT tried to get back at him. He had DRS, but nope.
Ichigo takes that dive down the inside. Oh, light contact made, but Bahrain still able to sneak through. But Ardel closing in that gap a lot now with all this battling, not what Ichigo needs, as that 3-second gap is closing down to that next medium runner.
Yeah.
Lewis Van holding back those other drivers, so...
Yeah, Zach with the fastest lap. Unfortunately, he's P14. So, at the moment, if anyone in the top 10 sets the fastest lap, they won't get a free point for that. So, Zach holds that at the moment.
It's going to be a hard run for any of those other drivers to catch up to this group, but maybe they can. I'm not sure Zach or Miniko will be able to. It's quite a gap.
Yeah, Zach's going to be praying for a safety car, which, gonna be honest with what we just saw a handful of laps ago, I'm
Hey, if
surprised.
that wasn't a safety car, Jesus. Yeah. We got to call the FIA on that one.
I mean, there are 3 cars that were just parked right on turn 3.
Oh, Lewis Van makes the dive down the inside. Ethan loses it on turn 1-2. Ardel and Lewis Van going side by side for P5.
Yeah, they got Wraith and Charlie, they're battling it out still. Kind of on equal footing, both. Well, Wraith is on a 1 lap pressure on mediums, but battery-wise, they're virtually equal, so...
Lewis Van dives down the inside of Ardel, but can't quite make the move done. No Limit does get Drunken Shamrock done, though. So, there is that. No Limit looking to try and get ahead of Lewis now, so...
Yep. Charlie's still within 4 tenths. Yeah, these guys are really...
Both drivers saving some good battery, though.
Yeah, they are. I think one thing that benefits them is that they just race smart here, which they should. Hey, at least Funny Dog can win this race. Just don't do it to where, you know, don't take each other out.
I agree. I don't know how these two will get along. Like, they're still gonna muscle it out. Charlie does have DRS. Will he try to make a move? He hasn't been pushing with battery. I think he's just trying to whittle Rath down a little bit.
Scare him in the
But,
meters.
Rath doing very good to hold on to that battery. Ardel and Lewis coming back for another fight, though. As No Limit sit down the inside of Lewis.
Yeah, no,
And No Limit makes that done.
yeah, No Limit and Ardell have been the biggest beneficiary of the safety car restart, going from basically P16, P15 to now Ardell in the top 5 and 5th and Ardell in tow, so...
And it sucks for Port because he retired early, but that safety car could have turned that around for him too. We could have had him
Very
mixed
well.
up in all this, but
I mean, we don't know
Yeah.
what happened. I mean, he could have had a wheel issue.
that's true. That's true.
I've experienced that with Bailey. We had that in Mexico last season, where even if you reset the wheel 3 times, he, I think, lost throttle or brake input. So, but no, you're correct. I mean, retiring early in a race, you don't know what could happen or what could transpire going forward. So.
Rath just trying to stick to the back of Charlie. Looks like these two know how to trade a position. Rath just wanting to get as close as he can so he can get a run down, as Charlie got ahead of him last lap, but
Yeah, Veyron's having a lonely drive for P3.
Ardell and No Limit, as No Limit gets around Ardell. Oh, in contact with Drunken and I think Lewis. And Mozzie's going to be the beneficiary of that as he gets past his teammate, and Drunken was pushed off by Lewis by the looks of it, but I don't know if that was just 2 going into 1 for that tight corner, but yeah. No Limit ahead of Ardell and Mozzie in 7th.
Yeah, Boss Cookie, after what happened on the start, or the restart there, he's back to P10, and right now he will be P9 with Drunken Shamrock's 5-second penalty. Unless that can be removed. I believe that was for ignoring yellow flags. Don't know if that was an actual penalty or a glitch. We'll find out after the race.
We'll have to see. I know that's a common thing with this game, unfortunately, and with wheels nowadays, so it's, I do feel bad for that.
That actually happened to me last night. I got something that said I did an illegal overtake on Flanders coming for the supercar restart, and like he was behind me the whole time, so Drix gets.
Boys be playing games.
I don't think Flanders was playing games. I don't know. I think it was just the game
Well,
itself.
Wrath and Charlie are, as they're trading for DRS, and Charlie just hit the brakes hard to let himself get DRS off of Wrath, so I don't know what these boys be doing. Wrath slowing down, or going too slow for Charlie a little bit in Sector 2, it feels, but...
Well...
Oh boy.
As Jensen Button once stole my line from Jeddah and Realistic, are these guys playing chess again?
Either chess or checkers. I'm hoping they're playing chess, because I'd rather hope it not be checkers, so...
I haven't played checkers forever.
These two are sitting just... It's almost like it's one car. It's just got 8 wheels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not, almost
like synchronized driving.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're basically...
Oh, until there. Now they're side by... Oh! What was that, Charlie? I understand there was contact, but you shouldn't rub him out like that. That was odd.
I don't know if Wraith went wide because he just went wide, or if he had a little bit of help. And okay, this is some car language.
Oh, maybe he got wing damage from that. Maybe that's why the push is there. He got upset over that.
And yeah, he'll get a new front wing.
I'm not sure what that was about. I'm sure stewards will look into that one come by the end of it. But right now, it is a 1-2 for Mercedes, as No Limit is trying to hold on to podium position, as Ichigo is getting mixed up in there with those hard tires. So, he's not quite given up yet. He still has pace. He still has DRS, pushing with ERS. Can he get the job done? He does.
This quickly went from a battle for P4 to now a battle for the final stop at the podium. Is now, yeah, Mercedes inherits to 1-2.
And Ichigo still wants that podium position.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we'll see. Maybe with the hard compound, maybe that does start to prevail maybe a little bit more.
He'll have an advantage, hopefully, in the final closing laps on some of these really haggard mediums, but I'm not quite sure. Everyone else has DRS, and he's the slower driver on hards. Well, hards should be the slower tire. He's not exactly the slower driver, as it were, but...
Wraith is off the pace, unless that contact really... I don't know what happened there, but Veyron went from being 6-7 seconds back, and now he's right behind his teammate.
I think Wraith wants to just make it to the end. He's going to give it up to his teammate, but maybe he's got floor damage or wing damage of some sort. So I'm not quite sure what he's got, but it is not going to help his run. TTM jumps onto a set of softs, so I'm guessing fastest lap will be going to him. Let's see what's going on with Ichigo and No Limit, as they're still fighting for that position. Ardell looking for it as well, so it is very much a 3-4-5-way fight, as Mozzie's trying to get involved as well. Everybody wants that final podium position. Who will it go to? I wonder.
And so far, none of them have penalties. The only one in the top 10 that has a penalty is Shamrock's 5, as Boss Cookie's now up to P8, so he's had a nice rally ever since that happened, so... Oh, well, that's because Charlie pitted.
Well, Charlie did pit after having some contact with Wrath, unfortunately, so I'm not sure what quite happened there. It looked like Charlie did get some damage, so... That's what's thrown this race from a loop. No one at the beginning in P1 has so far really survived. It's almost like P1 has been a curse, and to stay away from it, as Veyron hopefully is the survivor of said curse going over the line. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, Veyron went from P3 to going, hey, thank you. I just got a gift. Watching Ray, to be interested to see if he does have damage, if that gap he has to Ichigo starts to decrease.
Well, it's closing.
It's
closing bit by bit. As Charlie sets that fastest lap of a 27.6. Pretty predictable, as considering being on that soft run. But Trix retires in pits, unfortunately, so that's it for him this afternoon. Thank you for coming out, sir.
Ichigo slowly eating into Rafe's time, so yeah, I believe Rafe does indeed have damage.
I'm going to have to guess it's some sort of floor damage, as it doesn't look visual on the front end, and that's what he seems to be fighting, is traction. So I'm going to have to assume it's floor damage from that, and that's also why Charlie was so annoyed with it. We'll see.
That's just for Trix retiring, but his car is now an AI, so that won't be a worry. But, you know, then again... Okay, there he goes. You know, Ichigo closed in about a second, just that lap.
They could catch it. They could catch Wrath before the end. So
yeah.
P2 is still even up on the board. The only one that might be able to sneak away is Veyron.
Yeah, I think Veyron's on cruise control. No need to push. He's had
No Limit still trying to make this move done. It's very close. Was that? No, I don't think that was damage or contact. So we're all good there, but these guys are pushing each other through every corner.
Yeah, let's see. Boss Cookie has he arrived at? He has arrived at this. And, oh, he makes the move on Mozzie to P7. So look out for Boss Cookie. He's now joined the fight.
Oh yeah, Ardell off. I don't know what happened there. He went off of turn 6-7 there.
He has wing damage.
I don't know if he got pushed or if that was something else. Maybe the curbs caught him out for a moment. That also could have happened. As yeah, Boss Cookie's trying to sort his way through this crowd.
Yeah, Ichigo, yeah, he's gaining a second on Wraith, so there is a possibility.
And he's pushing out No Limit at this point too.
Yeah. He is starting to open up a gap on No Limit. Boss Cookie is giving it everything he has.
He's got to give it all the beans. He's trying to catch up. He's got 5 more laps to do it. I think a few more positions are still in his hand if he gives it all, and I think that he knows that as well. So he is going for the recovery drive of a dream right now as he's trying to make his way into P5.
Yep. It's inside Lewis fan there. Gets the job done. We'll see if maybe Lewis will be able to respond in the second DRS straight.
I'm not so sure on the hard tires. Maybe not against Boss Cookie, but he's going to try and make the move. Does have the speed, but Boss Cookie has the inside line.
Yeah, it makes it a long way around and shuts the door firmly.
And that'll be that, as Mozzie and Zach, or Mozzie and Ardell are both into the pits, giving up 2 positions to Ethan and Zach, so.
Well, if Zach can close within a second of Ethan, he will get a point, so. If Ethan having a
Charlie looking to cut his way through. On those softs, he's caught up to P7, now he's looking to catch up to Lewis and maybe even Boss Cookie, so we'll have to see. Boss Cookie on the back of No Limit now. A little love tap to the back of that diffuser.
Completing lap 25, so we'll have 4 more to go. Veyron just pretty much on cruise control. I don't even think he's touched his battery once ever since grabbing the lead.
I'm guessing Boss Cookie's going to try and make this move done now. Wrath is still 2 seconds up the road from Ichigo. No Limit dives down to the right. Makes a little bit of a move to the left.
Here comes Lewis,
Boss Cookie using... everything.
Oh! I think
Lewis fan diving down.
I think Lewis fan and No Limit made contact there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened to Lewis. Has he got wing damage? Unsure. But he's losing out to Drunken Shamrock at this point. So that's that.
He might have tried to make it 3 wide and just maybe some contact there, but that promotes Boss Cookie to P4.
Now the question is, who goes P3 and who goes P2? Will it be Boss Cookie to pass both Ichigo and Wrath, or will it be Ichigo to somehow hold out?
Hey,
I don't know.
well, look who's 2 cars behind Boss Cookie. Yeah, now.
Yep, I know.
I see. Now.
I see Charlie coming up on those softs, and he's got pace. So again, P3 might not even be Ichigo's. It's all up for grabs. Coming down to 3 laps left.
Yeah, Ichigo is now in the DRS range of right.
Boss Cookie goes off a little bit there.
I tell you, in this situation, if you're in the top 5, well, except for the leader, you do not want to get a penalty right now. That will pretty much be a nail in the coffin for your race.
Ichigo does have DRS. He's catching up to Wraith. It is a bit of a speed. Will it be enough into the corner? Not quite. I think he's just looking for the next one. Bit of a lockup from Wrath as they're going through. Ichigo just trying to get some good traction.
Ichigo needs to get this move done as soon as he can, so that way he can build up a gap from right behind. He does get by.
He does get by, and Boss Cookie and Charlie now looking to fight each other. They're side by side, pushing each other, shoving left and right as Boss Cookie wins this one out. And another love tap from TTM Charlie. Charlie wanting to get this move done on Boss Cookie, trying to get up into those podium positions again, as Wrath, being limp, is right there, trying to get this done to the end.
How do you think Helmut Marko would be if he saw this?
I don't know if he'd be ecstatic or infuriated. And Charlie goes the wide way around Boss Cookie through the corner.
he just sent it in there.
Charlie now closing in on Wrath. Can he get that move done? Ichigo not too far up the road. P2 is still on the table for Charlie. He doesn't have much battery, but he does have the tires.
Yeah, Ichigo, he's opened up a gap with Wraith as Charlie. Yeah, Charlie just going to breeze right by, unfortunately. Fortunately,
Last path Wrath. Boss Cookie closing in on Wrath. Has to avoid the curb just a little bit as Wrath has a bit of a lockup, but yeah, Charlie to chase down Ichigo for P2. Bahrain 11 seconds up the road, so he's safe. And Wrath has to bow out of it from Boss Cookie. So will Boss Cookie get Ichigo? Will Ichigo get third? Will Ichigo be able to hold off for his position? 6 lap softs. I think they got some more life in them.
Yeah, I think he's got plenty of life for the last 2 laps. As got Zach the Beast, he's trying to get within that 3-second gap of then to get the final point. It's in there now.
It's a close one to the end. I see Drunken Shamrock making a move for No Limit there, but I don't really want to pull away from the top one here. So he's making good moves. If he can get around with that time penalty, be good positions for him.
If I was DXT, if you know Charlie's going to get by you, I think DXT was trying to let Charlie through. He wanted to get
Charlie
DRS.
wants that DRS and does not want to give it to Ichigo at all. Does not want to give him any sort of advantage. As they're running down for the line, Charlie's just going to be able to weasel past on lap 29, so he's going to start ahead of Ichigo. Can Ichigo hold off on this last lap for podium?
Oh,
we'll have to see. Oh, Boss Cookie makes a big dive, pushing out Ichigo off the track.
And Ichigo.
Oh no, and that's going to take Ichigo down as more drivers are coming through, and Wrath promoted back through after that.
That's going to get looked at after the race, unfortunately.
I'm sure the stewards will look at that. I'm Not sure exactly what happened on everybody's POV, so we'll have to see. Boss Cookie making the dive down the inside. I'm not sure how successful he thought that was going to be, but that was a little bit more of a scrum than I think anybody wanted.
Yeah, unfortunately, DXD was the unfortunate. That was Ardell gets a penalty with, well, his race got kind of ruined a handful of laps ago after his tremendous comeback drive. But how about Veyron here? First race of his Tier 1, or Tier 2, I'm sorry, and it's kind of the win gifted to him. Well done.
Not much camera action for Veyron, but congratulations for the win. You definitely deserve that one, somehow dodging all the other curses and traffic and other random things that happened on this first round out of Tier 2. So, congratulations.
Charlie for a nice comeback
TTM
drive
Charlie.
to P2.
And Boss Cookie for a comeback drive for P3, so good on them. We'll still have to see what the stewards say about some of these incidents. I know Charlie still has something to look at, and same with Boss Cookie, as well as that earlier collision that took out Zach and Boss Cookie and a few of the other drivers. So we'll have to see what happens, as I think Zach, did he spin it at the end? He did, which will not net him points.
Oh,
and
yes.
He's got no wing. So he lost out on points there at the end, unfortunately, so that's not great for Zach. Ardell comes down over the line to finish off the GP for us. And that is it for Tier 2.
I wonder if Zach and Mozzie got battling there, and that's what possibly caused. As Drunken Shamrock wins Driver of the Day. So, well, shall we talk to the top 3?
Of course, of course.
Well, we'll have to
get them in here as soon as possible. Small podium celebrations here. As Veyron comes out on top, followed by TTM Charlie and Boss Cookie for your top 3. Just getting them in here, and then should be good to go.
Well, we have Boston here. We'll see if we can get Charlie or Veyron. I'll send him another invite. Well, we'll see if Charlie and Veyron will join, but Boss Cookie, let's just say you had a very nice recovery drive. There's Veyron. Talk about it.
Well, it was going good. I think my race pace the first stint was really, really bad. I, for some reason, just couldn't get to grips with the softs. But then Sticker came out, bad timing, got sent down to P3. Restart, my game decided to freeze, and which meant my Wi-Fi dropped. Like literally the second I tapped Charlie, and I have no idea what happened after that, like none at all. I rejoined, and like Cam and fucking Cam and Zach were like laughing. I was like extremely confused as to what happened, but I didn't get damaged somehow. My AI didn't get damaged, and I was able to come back from like P12 to P3. I was not, yeah, not sure I was gonna get points there, but it was good. And then at the end, I kind of outbroke myself with the Ichigo, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you might have to send DXD a sorry card. But yeah, I don't know what was more kind of confusing, that big melee wreck that we saw, which you explained, or the fact that that didn't cause the safety car.
Yeah, I don't know. After they told me like how many people cried, like 'cause I was in the lobby. There's 19 people, and I rejoined. There's 14. Because on my screen I tapped Charlie and I ghosted, and then I game froze. So I have no idea what I did, but um, yeah, it was a fun race after that though. I think I was like 10 seconds off of the points, and I think some other people had damage up there, so it was just kind of a case of crawling back.
Yeah, well, you didn't give up. You still gave it the best you had, and that helped you get P3. Um, we'll have Raph interview the winner, so we'll move to Charlie. What what was going on between you and Wraith while y'all were battling the lead? Because, well, that crash that happened with Boss Cookie and a handful of others, that pretty much put you and Wraith in your own little world up front. Well, we'll see if there'll be an inquiry about that. But a heck of a comeback after you pitted for softs up to P2. Did you think P2 was going to be on the cards after you left the pit lane? Yeah. Well, Wrath, go ahead.
Yes. Veyron, the man who was able to escape the P1 curse. It seemed like everybody else that got up there had some sort of issues or, some sort of contact, which kind of threw them off of their race pace or what they were planning on doing. So how was that for you to kind of come out on top in the end there?
Um, it's it's insanely satisfying. It's finally nice to get my first win in this league, and yeah, it was one of the most opportunistic races I've ever had. And yeah, the start was pretty normal. I was kind of just following everybody in the position and just biding my time and just conserving my ERS. And then I pit for hards on lap 7, and then the safety car came out, which kind of put me in a bad situation. And I kind of thought that my race was in jeopardy at that point. But yeah, after that huge crash on turns 2 and 3, I was able to escape that and find myself into the podium positions pretty quickly, and I got very lucky with the Charlie and Wraith incident. I'm sorry for what happened to them, but yeah, it was a really, really, really rewarding.
Hey,
Really
this
happy.
race had tons of ups and downs, so it's
Yeah,
just,
it's
the
racing.
some people had opportunistic improvements, other people didn't. People like Ichigo were right up there in the podium positions, but again, chaos hit him as well. So it's been up and down for everybody's race. People that started on their grid spot ended up a lot higher, a lot lower. So it was a really mixed race. But I'm happy to see you up there, and congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
And that should be it for our Tier 2 stream. Check in shortly after. Our Tier 1 should be coming up in the next bit. It should only be about half an hour or so before that starts kicking off. So tune in again. And we'll catch you again next time for Tier 2. And always try to tune in for our other tiers as well as Realistic. It'd be great to have you out to support all of our drivers and not just one group or just yourself. So come on out, watch all the tiers, and have a good one. Be safe, everybody.
Good night.